The Extraordinary Chambers in the courts of Cambodia was established in response to the crimes committed by the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia between 1975 and 1979. Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge seized power in Cambodia on April 17, 1975. They renamed the country Democratic Kampuchea. They ruled until they were toppled on January 6, 1979. It is believed that as many as 1.7 million Cambodians, 1/4 of the population, died from execution, torture, starvation, and other inhumane living conditions during the Khmer Rouge regime. In 1997, the royal government of Cambodia requested assistance from the United Nations to try senior Khmer Rouge leaders. After several years of negotiations, an agreement was reached in 2003, providing for international participation and assistance to the ECCC. The ECCC is a special Cambodian court. It applies both national and international law. The ECCC became fully operational in July 2007. The Extraordinary Chambers in the courts of Cambodia can only try two categories of alleged perpetrators: senior leaders of Democratic Kampuchea and those believed to be most responsible for the crimes committed between April 17, 1975 and January 6, 1979. The crimes being prosecuted by the ECCC include genocide, crimes against humanity, grave breaches of the 1949 Geneva Conventions, as well as murder, torture, and religious persecution within the meaning of the Cambodian Penal Code of 1956. The ECCC has so far detained and charged the following persons: Gengek Il, alias Duk, Deputy Chairman and later Chairman of S21; Nun Chia, Deputy Secretary of the Communist Party of Kampuchea; Khieu Samphan, Head of State during Democratic Kampuchea; Ieng Sary, former Deputy Prime Minister in charge of Foreign Affairs; and Ieng Thierit, former Minister of Social Affairs. The maximum punishment for anyone convicted by the ECCC is life imprisonment. Cambodian law does not permit the death penalty. Any charged person and any accused before the ECCC have the right to be represented by both a Cambodian and an international defense lawyer of their own choice. They shall be presumed innocent so long as guilt has not been established through a final judgment. The ECCC has two co-prosecutors, one Cambodian and one international. Investigations of crimes and suspected perpetrators are launched upon request from these co-prosecutors. The co-prosecutors send a request for investigation to the co-investigating judges, one Cambodian, one international. The co-investigating judges carry out the actual investigation in an independent manner. They conduct their investigation impartially. They are obliged to search for both inculpatory as well as exonerating evidence. Once the investigation is concluded, the co-investigating judges issue a closing order. In the closing order, they may either indict the charged person and send him or her to trial, or dismiss the case, thereby ending the proceedings against the charged person. A decision of the co-investigating judges is subject to appeal before the ECCC's pre-trial chamber. The pre-trial chamber is composed of 3 Cambodian and 2 international judges. They hear appeals and motions relating to the investigative phase of a case, such as appeals relating to provisional detention or other decisions made by the co-investigating judges. Once a case is sent for trial, the trial chamber takes over responsibility for the case. The trial chamber is composed of 3 Cambodian and 2 international judges. The trial chamber examines all evidence presented and hears witness testimony. At the conclusion of the trial chamber issues a verdict. In the verdict, the trial chamber judges decide, based on the evidence and arguments presented during trial, whether the accused person is guilty or not guilty in the eyes of the law. In case of conviction, they decide what sentence to impose. Parties may appeal any trial chamber decision to the Supreme Court chamber. The Supreme Court chamber is composed of 4 Cambodian and 3 international judges. Supreme Court chamber decisions are final and they cannot be appealed. The ECCC has special voting rules. These rules ensure that neither Cambodian nor international judges can make decisions alone. In order to make a decision in the pretrial chamber and the trial chamber, 4 out of 5 judges must vote together. In the Supreme Court chamber, decisions are taken by a supermajority of 5 out of 7 judges. For example, if only 3 out of 5 trial chamber judges believe that an accused is guilty, there is no supermajority and the accused must be set free. However, if 4 out of 5 judges believe that an accused is guilty, a supermajority will have been reached and the person will be convicted and sentenced. The ECCC is the first court of its kind to allow victims to participate directly in the trial proceedings as civil parties. Civil parties are represented by lawyers who can question the accused and witnesses during trial. Civil parties can make claims for collective and moral reparations. However, no individual monetary compensation may be awarded. During the trial phase, civil party representation in court is coordinated by 2 co-lead lawyers, 1 Cambodian and 1 international. The extraordinary chambers in the courts of Cambodia is administered by a national director as well as an international deputy director. Since the ECCC was set up as a special chambers with the mandate to prosecute a limited number of persons, the extraordinary chambers in the courts of Cambodia will cease its operations once its mandate is completed. However, the work of the extraordinary chambers in the courts of Cambodia is progressing. The ECCC's trial chamber sentenced former Khmer Rouge prison chief of S21, Gengek Il, alias Duk, to 35 years of imprisonment. During the last week of March 2011, the Supreme Court chamber will hear appeals against the Duk verdict. The final judgment is expected within a few months' time. As of March 30th, 2011, 80,000 people, including the general public, students, civil servants, monks, nuns, laymen, citizens, and commune and Sangkat leaders, have been coming to the extraordinary chambers in the courts of Cambodia to attend the public hearing of Gengek Il, alias Duk, and to join the Khmer Rouge Tribunal study tour. This participation has been made possible because the extraordinary chambers in the courts of Cambodia was established as a court inside the country where the crimes were allegedly committed. This has made the proceedings accessible to victims and the general population on an unprecedented level relative to similar courts. The court is also enjoying overwhelming support from the Cambodian people. A survey commissioned by the International Republican Institute, conducted with a representative sample of the population in 2008, before the commencement of the trials, reveals that 69% of the respondents said they agreed very much with the trial against the Khmer Rouge leaders. A new survey from the IRI, which was conducted in July and August of 2009, more than halfway through the first trial, revealed that 70% of the respondents said that the Khmer Rouge trials are providing justice. Another study of the Berlin Center for the Treatment of Torture Victims was conducted among persons who were civil parties at the ECCC proceedings during the Duk trial. It showed that 60% of the respondents in the survey were satisfied with the verdict, which was announced on July 26, 2010. About 80% said they followed the Duk trial through various channels, such as television at 63.9%, radio 42.2%, and court visits 18.9%. Standing outside the Tuol Sleng Genocide Museum, former Khmer Rouge prisoners Van Nat, Chum May, and Bu Men raised the books high above their heads which was distributed by officials of the extraordinary chambers in the courts of Cambodia. It is a symbolic gesture to dedicate the verdict to the many victims who did not survive their captivity at S21. In an effort to make the verdict accessible, a large number of copies were printed and distributed throughout Cambodia. Outreach events were organized throughout the country. Furthermore, the acting director and deputy director of administration also handed out copies of the verdict to members of parliament, civil servants, lecturers, students, and to 1,621 commune and Sankat members across the country, as well as gave lectures about the experiences and lessons learned from the ECCC and how this might benefit the Cambodian judiciary. The royal government of Cambodia is currently trying to reform the judicial process. Thousands of professors, lecturers, students, and many others have gained better understanding of the ECCC's work through lectures organized by the ECCC Public Affairs section at universities and high schools. Thousands of victims and civil parties attended the regional forums organized by the Victim Support section of the ECCC, aimed at sharing experiences in Case 001 for the upcoming Case 002, of which the public hearing is expected to start in the middle of 2011. Ms. Pungunt Suntari, a civil party in Case 1, met hundreds of villagers through the ECCC's outreach and study tour. This was filmed in 24 provinces. It is called A Memory Night. During the film screening evening at Vilring High School in Kampong Som Province, Ms. Suntari told villagers and students the following: "I do not wish for revenge, but for justice only."